Hello,
everybody, and
welcome
welcome
to
to
the
The
Splain.
Splain. And I'm
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
gonna very quickly. I'm gonna close this window
Oh, I thought you were
because
cleaning something there or
my
something.
wife told me last week, like the whole neighborhood. I guess I project very well.
Wait, they're getting the podcast for free?
Yeah, I know.
That's
That's what I don't
ridiculous.
want. It's
You got
bullshit.
to
Yeah,
close that window, buddy.
close that window. Don't want
Yeah,
anybody
we can't be
hearing.
just giving this magic away,
Yeah,
even though we are. Um,
yeah. So welcome, like and subscribe to
yeah,
this
like and
magic.
subscribe. Yeah, to
And
the.
that's to you guys too. Give me
Hey,
a
everyone on
thumbs
the
up.
block.
This is
Um,
like
can't hurt.
Rocky. I'll call you. I'll just over the window go, hey, yo. All right. Okay, we have a very special episode of The Splain. First of all, we have no we're not interviewing a comedian today, which means we've heard from a lot of you that you miss just the banter of Joe and I
Yeah.
tackling life. So that'll be a nice
Yeah, we're checking in.
change. Yeah.
Don't worry. Next week, if you are looking for more comedy conversations and interview, we will have a comic back. But we're kind of checking in with each other.
Who will that comic be so they can?
It is. Hold on.
All right. Well, fuck it. Don't worry about it.
It is Mark Christopher.
Mark Christopher, very funny.
Started in the
guy.
Bay Area and is predominantly doing it out of Florida right now. So, which I think has got to be a cultural shock to some degree.
Heard the Bay Area and moved to Florida. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get into that with him.
We'll get into that with him. Yeah.
Sounds like a mistake to me, but I've been out of the game for a while. Maybe
there's a reason he moved to Florida. Shipwreck.
Okay,
drugs.
I'm already. To me, there's no excuse, but it'll be an interesting conversation. So, real quickly, let's get to it. We have some comments.
Yeah, so this has been interesting. We're at 62 subscribers, which is nice, right? Which
it's nice. It's more.
That's more than
61.
Less.
It's more than a lesser number.
We have a new subscriber that joined us, Pirate Wolf Girl.
Welcome,
Pirate Wolf Girl.
Can we call you Pirate or welcome
or Wolf or Girl? None of those seem like things that we should be calling women.
No,
but all together.
But hey, we value our subscribers.
We do, and we have so few we know them by name. So that's a plus. So checking in with a couple of our subscribers. So Joe Warftig, who he's been a Bay Area comedy fan. I remember him coming to some shows when I was starting out at the Punchline. He's actually taken my comedy class. He's hitting the open mic scene, and Joe, you could be performing on paid stages. You could. I mean, honestly, like whenever you think you're ready, I am happy to help you make that leap. But he has commented that he would like us to be more centered in the frame. So.
Okay.
So Joe.
All right. Thank you, Joe.
There we go. That was for you, buddy.
All right.
And then we have an interesting comment from a subscriber called Big Moose 99. You want to think that you can learn a lot from people's YouTube handles and their profile pics. He has Barney Fife, the sheriff.
Classic Don Knotts, yeah.
Classic Don Knotts, and then his name is Big Moose 99. And he was taking, very politely engaging around our conversation about Louis C.K. And he thought, Louis has apologized, and he said, check out a clip of him on Theo Von.
Okay.
Yeah, and here was this was what was kind of interesting about his comment, and then I did a little bit of research and looked at it. He took issue with the fact that I was calling Theo Von far right. he did not think he was far right, which is interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
And the clip that he's talking about, yeah, there's a clip where Louis C.K. is on there and he's saying, I've apologized like 1,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
And here's, look, we don't need to belabor this and
But
go into this.
was he apologizing or saying how he apologized?
He was saying how he apologized. And,
Mm-hmm.
and and I'm going to keep repeating this until the day I die. If
Mm-hmm.
you are one of the most confessional stand-up comedians there is, and your
Mm-hmm.
entire career has been about being vulnerable and admitting the mistakes that you've made, and you are not actively talking about this thing that happened in your life in
Mm-hmm.
your set, you have not apologized for it.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people would disagree with that. And in some ways, Louis C.K. is really the dividing line of how we see, I guess, kind of this assault culture, gender culture, how we view what is assault and what is an apology. And so in some ways, he's really, it's the most compelling example in the sense that we all agree that what's his name? Harvey Weinstein was a bad guy and a monster. Like we all have decided that, and we're all cool with the fact that he doesn't get to work again. But Louis is in this gray area where mm, it's kind of a dividing line. Here's how I would put it. To what's his name?
Big Moose 99.
Big Moose. Okay, first of all, um, what is an apology? And that's up to Louis ultimately. All I can do is decide I'm not into him anymore, and he's just less funny to me, and he gives me the ick now. He can do whatever he wants. Anyone can go on stage, and he has a huge audience, and in some ways he's bigger than ever, and he could be on his merry way, and he has a right to do that. To me, where the apology lies is to manage the narrative around it and not let that narrative to stray from the fact that he used his power and he put people in this really humiliating situation that is potentially very humiliating, damaging, and traumatizing. That's what this is about. Not having a kink, not whacking it. Anybody can whack it. Anybody can ask anyone else if they're allowed to whack it. That's a kink. That's consensual. That's whatever. It's the position he put his fellow comedians in, which was it's a really bad thing. And I can understand why he wants to deflect from that because it's not funny. It's a nasty platform to stand on. But if you watch all the different documentaries about him, you see that he allowed for these narratives to form about, well, he got busted for his kink. Well, he's just a little bit of a freak, and we found out, and he just happens to be famous, and so his freak flag flew in public, right? But no, that's not it. It's about the power he had. And I will say this, Theo Von, right, left, whatever he is, he's, you notice how he went on Theo Von. What he did not go on is WTF. Talk to Theo Von. He didn't talk to Mark Maron because Mark Maron gets it.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Mark Maron understands to me, the more of the undercurrent of what this brosphere creates and the fact that Louis is now a product of it. And I realize, go ahead.
The whole thing strikes me as, first of all, it's just sad because again, Louis was probably the comic I looked up to the most for a while.
He was the best.
He was the best, he just had it. But it wasn't just because he was the best. He was the best because he was confessional and vulnerable.
Yeah.
And he was admitting, hey, these are my faults. And I think people forget that this was an abuse of power. Any HR person will tell you, like, it wasn't about masturbating. It wasn't about the sex. It wasn't about anything else other than he abused his power. And then you're right. Like, he did not step in to correct the narrative, at all. And if he wanted to, he could have talked about it on stage, and it would have been genius. It would have been something unique and different.
And when we say talk about it, we mean really talk about it.
Really talk about
the
it.
depths of it, what he went through.
He
hits on it a little bit with some clever jokes.
Yeah.
And again, I know a lot of you are saying he apologized. What do you want from it? What do you want from the guy?
Yeah.
How many? It's over. I know you think that, and that's why sexual abuse will remain, will go on, because at the end of the day, there's you, Muck, a permission structure for him to be the victim.
And he's never mentioned their names.
And that's what people like Marc Maron get, and that's what, and you disagree, and you're whatever, status quo dude.
Yeah. I think the right wing too, and yeah, I'm gonna definitely label everyone on who thinks this. The right wing is like, cancel culture shouldn't be forever. Like, you're right. Mm-hmm. There's degrees of crimes, right? We assign degrees in murder, degrees of sexual assault. He has not been canceled and not working. He is working a lot. The problem is his audience that he's attracted now that are supporting him are all on the right wing. Are they? Yeah.
Like,
I mean, they're showing up.
I've never been clear about that. I know that.
That's why he's on Theo Von. That's why he's showing up on the Manosphere. He would have made fun of these people had they not embraced him. But because they saw his cause as an example of cancel culture, right? He and his material is worse off for it, because he's writing for the mentality that he's encountering rather than writing from his material is.
Can you think of examples of that?
I cannot think of a specific joke right now, but I remember the last two specials were bad.
Yeah, here's something he did that jumped out at me. And now I want you to know, listener, I will not watch his new Netflix special because it makes me sad, and that's my business.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But from what I've heard of his new material, and before you disagree with me, understand I am a Louis C.K. was an absolute geek nerd. I know it all. I know. As a comedian, I've watched every single breath he's spoken on YouTube at one point. Like, I'm sorry. Yeah. I feel like I kind of get that.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
I get how comedy works. And there's little things that I think say a lot. So a newer thing. He was talking about. He did a joke about. He was talking about Christianity, and he approached it differently. He was a little more compromising. He made a joke about how he threw in a tag about how Christianity was not true, or it was all a myth. And then you kind of back up and go, no, I'm kidding. I don't even know. Hey, who knows? And I was like, you wouldn't have said that before. You're doing that for a new audience.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like I have a right to say that, because I was such a supporter and fan of his. I ranked him the best living comedian.
He definitely was up there. And I'm with you. I mean, I opened for him a weekend at Cobb's, and I felt like it was a masterclass. And he also was at the Punchline for a week trying new material out, and I went to 3 of those shows to watch him. And some of that material, I don't know if it ever showed up really in mass or for the masses, but he was born in Mexico and had this whole, he became an American citizen at like the age of 3. And it was an amazing story. And he talked about that. He also had this incredible story about um, stealing microscopes in high school.
I saw that story. That was a
Yeah,
great story.
that's a it's an
That's what
and that's
he
a classic
was
Louis C.K.
so
story.
good at.
Yeah,
The and that I can relate to so much. At the end, he had a bunch of people defending him, and I totally stole him.
yeah.
I did
He
shit
totally
like that.
stole him. Yeah,
It's
and if we never got that level of introspective storytelling around the whole masturbation thing, we never got that. You know. So yeah, I mean, and you're right. Like now, because he never talked about it, never really said, look, this is what I did. I own it, and talked about it on stage where it was going to reach the most people. Yeah. I have the ick too, but so that
it's just not. It's like it's and funny. You have a right to defend him. We have a right. It's not about being canceled. Sometimes it's just about the reaction you get.
exactly. Yeah.
And to me, again, we don't know the ins and outs of it because we're not communicating with these famous people. But I remember Mark Maron was talking and said, Louis just doesn't talk to me anymore. He wasn't mad about it. He's just like, yeah, Louis we're just kind of, and I thought that totally makes sense because you're a truth. Mark Maron gets it. And Louis he needs to move away from that level of truth. And it's not that Theo Von is necessarily, it's not that he's wearing a swastika or even identifying himself politically, but he's of a certain old school male. Let's go easy.
Yeah.
Let's go easy on ourselves and let's create a blank slate and kind of go from scratch. You went through that and then it's this false fucking talk that's supposed to be all soulful and honest.
Yeah.
And it's two guys having each other's backs. And that's
right. Yeah, that's exactly
the way
I'm with you.
See it. This is the way I see it. You don't have to see it. He apologized. If you think so,
but you know what, Big Moose,
go pay money and see him.
Thank you for listening,
do it, man. Yeah, thank you for listening and disagree with us.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate the fact that somebody engaged with us that didn't agree, but then did it in a respectful way. Like that. We need more of that. Let's disagree and have a conversation. But yeah, that was awesome. Okay, now you asked me to watch a movie, which I guess I always wanted to watch, but it came out in 2008 and I never got around to watching it. Tell everyone the movie and then please tell me why you wanted me to watch it.
Okay, thank you for putting it on a platter for me. Okay, the movie is The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke, his comeback film in 2008. If asked, I will always say that is one of my favorite movies ever.
Wow.
Wow. And not everybody agrees
with me. Look, it's a very it's a very good movie. It is. It's very good, but it is bleak.
I know. And to me, I look at a movie like that and it cheers me up. Seriously. I love it.
How can that cheer you up?
It's just the human fucking condition wrapped up in a ball. I love that. Like to me, that makes me feel like Star Wars makes you feel. Like there's
something wrong with you.
I don't think so. It's art. It's just such beautiful art.
But Star Wars and The Wrestler are not in the same. I mean, it is apples and blood. It is.
I know. So it is about The Wrestler. If you haven't seen it, and most of you probably have, it's about a made up, but probably based on an amalgam of wrestlers who was big in the 80s. And one thing I love about it is he's big in the 80s and now he's broke and doing these small club wrestling rooms. And it's a broken down guy that once had glory and he wasn't there for his daughter when she needed him. And now he's lonely and his closest relationship is with a stripper played by Marissa Tomei. Excellent. Who is also, it's sort of about the American dream, trying to make something of yourself when your youth is gone, stripper, wrestler. And one thing I love about it is that to me, a wrestler like that is very analogous, similar to a certain type of comedian that existed in the 80s. This broken down kind of white guy. I don't know why I say white, but sort of a dude that found glory
Yeah.
in the 80s,
Yeah.
found money and fun and coke and all that comes with it and then was having trouble, then fell because basically they put all their eggs in two baskets. One, that they wouldn't age,
Yeah.
and two, that the 80s would never age. That as long as Jump by Van Halen is still number one on TV, everything is great, everything is glorious. And then, as to quote Randy the Ram, then that Cobain pussy ruined it for everyone in the 90s. Those are his words.
Is it such a crime to have a good time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think first of all, it beautifully encapsulated what the 80s were and how, certain types of people just thrived during that. And the sadness and bitterness of growing old and not being able to recapture what you already fucked up. It's a sad but very real thing. And Randy the Ram, this is the final thing I'll say. Randy the Ram, so he's and it also, for me it was Mickey Rourke's best. It with all of his own, it mirrored his life in a way, because he was a movie star and then he fucked
very
up.
much so.
And at the end of the day, Mickey, I want to have so much sympathy for you. I love you, but now I type in your net worth. You fucked it all up again. And I'm not paying for your GoFundMe to pay your rent. I'm sorry. I do that. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. I net worth people. It's not cool. You don't do that?
No.
I want to know how. You don't want to know how. I'm constantly doing that.
I don't want to know mine. It's so embarrassingly low.
Well, yours is not available because nor is mine, because nobody cares.
Wow.
You don't. Okay. All right. You don't net worth some of our former colleagues.
No.
Good for you.
Well, because I already have enough regret and resentment. I mean, why do I need more? Why do I need a dollar figure to put on that resentment?
It's good for you.
Yeah.
I have a thing about that. It's really says not good things about me.
I will tell you this. I will tell you that. So, where I get off on BART in San Francisco, the BART train, right? So there's an exit. There's exits all through BART, right? And I avoid. This is going to be so sad. I avoid the easier quick exit out because I have to walk past a poster that talks about a comedy night event with a couple of names attached to it. And it kills me to see that name on a comedy event, which is now past.
Is it the same name? Every time?
It's yeah. It's one. There's like a couple of big names, but there's like a local name that. Yeah, I mean, I can't walk past it because and I know it's me. I'm not telling you the name.
But we always bug our guests to drop the names.
I know, because I don't want to have the whole conversation, and it's embarrassing and shameful that I still have this level of like fuck, you know. But it's like walking.
Is it about him individually or just
a little bit? Sure, a little bit. I mean, I still carry some. I guess it's anger. I mean, if I'm being honest, I mean, I
have a few like that.
Yeah, you know, and I'm not. Most of it is me. You know, I will own that. Most of it is like my side of the street, the part that I played in it. But you know, it's 6:40 in the morning, and I'm walking to a day job, and I have to walk past, you know, like appearing, you know, and it's just like fuck that. Why wasn't that me? Why am I going to a day job at 6:40 in the morning, and this guy's name's on a poster? You know, when we well, yeah. I mean, anyway,
All
but
right.
okay, we derailed this a little bit. Someday,
So
maybe when I'm ready,
I
we'll
so
talk about it.
anyway,
But
I
why did you want me to see this movie, The
be,
Wrestler?
because to me it's about
Here we go. Come on.
no, but I don't. It's not that I'm attaching this to you. It's about us. It's about us dealing with our dreams and regrets and challenges. And I think it's beautiful to watch film, in this case, illustrate failure, sadness, bitterness, all coming together. And it doesn't work out for him, but it's still,
Ugh.
it's, I guess it's just that well, it captured that part of
It
the
was.
human condition.
Yeah. Let me just tell you. So I watched it with Christine, right?
I'd
And
like to
she'd.
know what you thought. I find the
Yeah.
beauty in the good performances and the truth of it.
I mean, look, as a purely just as a movie, yeah, it's everything about it is just really well done, and everybody
Mm-hmm.
in it was just perfect. Everybody, but it was hard to watch because I'm watching it for the first time with the context of you want me to see it, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling Christine, I think Dan thinks I'm the Ram. I think when he's thinking of stand up comedy
No,
and
no, no,
maybe
no,
the
no, no.
places, but a little bit, because I could see it. I could
Yeah.
see it. I'm like, yeah, I'm still going to the same clubs. I'm still doing
Uh,
my act, and I'm still trying to wrest a little bit of joy and some money, and and again,
uh,
it's like, yeah, there is such the fact that he's showing up at these sad, shabby venues, and he's doing his act that
mm-hmm,
made him big back in the
mm-hmm,
day, and he's still
mm-hmm,
holding on to all of it, and the crowds are getting smaller, and the money is getting
mm-hmm.
smaller, and his life is getting smaller.
And can I
Yeah,
just add to that for our viewers? What makes it so real to me? Where wrestling and comedy are similar, it's all gigs. There's no HR, there's no pension, there's no nothing. You
yeah,
show up,
yeah, yeah,
you show up that day, finish your set, collect the money, you die on the way there, they replace you.
yeah,
Isn't it,
yeah.
that's that was another thing that's important in that kind of life.
The thing that got me, and spoiler warning, I'll give a little bit away. So when he's in the hospital and he wakes up, and he's had the bypass operation, and the doctor
Mm-hmm.
is telling him, like, look, you can't wrestle again.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as the doctor tells him that, I know with absolute certainty, of course he's going to wrestle again. Because that would have been like telling me when I was on the road, hey, you can't do
Mm-hmm.
gigs again.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, well, what? I can't do anything else. Like the
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
the
What
quiet
and he
desperation.
says, yeah, he says to the doctor, I'm a professional
I'm a
wrestler.
professional wrestler.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
And the doctor's like, well, that's not a good idea.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
yeah. I mean,
Right. What do I do?
the only reason I stopped being a one night road warrior, stand up comic was because I crashed my car in the middle of nowhere. And
Mm-hmm.
if that had not occurred, I don't know what would have happened. And I was miserable too. I mean, I knew I was miserable
Mm-hmm.
when I was out there, but you get locked into something in life, and it was like, well, look, this is what I do. This is what I have. This is what I'm good at. And it was less about, I mean, I would be curious what his character was like when he was young. Was he idealistic? Was he like, oh, I'm going to do something different with wrestling. I'm going to attempt to try some unique stuff. I'm going to be special. I'm going to really show people that wrestling is more, because that's how I hit the road. I'm like, I'm going to, but by the end of it, I'm like, fuck it. I'm just doing dick jokes and crowd
Mm-hmm.
control, and I'm getting my money, and I'm drinking, and
Mm-hmm.
it was a very, very lonely, unfulfilling life. I mean, and I'm watching the movie, and yeah, it's heartbreaking to watch because I know exactly the direction it's going to go in. And Marissa Tomei too, her character, it's like, yeah, she's not the young, fresh new thing that she once was. And she is starting to realize it because, especially in that business, my God, the guys are just cruel.
Yeah. That was I think a good, sad but good choice. That being a exotic dancer is there's rejection and nastiness, and
it's
you're not just absorbing positive attention.
no, it's brutal.
It's got to be horrible. Yeah,
it's horrible. It can be, to your self-esteem, it's brutal. I mean, that's why there's so much addiction and, substance abuse issues in that industry. I think we see it in a more healthy, now you're sex workers. Now, a lot of strippers have unionized, a lot of, but still the sad reality is just like he is a piece of meat. I mean, he gives that short speech about I'm just a big broken down piece of meat.
Yeah.
I mean, she's in the same boat where she's like, my shelf life is ending. And oh God, when she shows up at the wrestling event and she just looks at him and says, I'm here. And I knew he wasn't going to just go, you know what, let's just go together. Like, of course that wasn't going to happen. It's too late. It's too late.
And that's another, I think, a good thing we can all learn from this film is when it's over, it's over. You can make mistakes all your life, but then make one final mistake and it's over, and your daughter's done with you.
Yeah, I mean, all of that is so. But
but
it's all him. You know what I mean? Like the thing is, I mean, there's the scene where he's playing the video game with the young kid in the trailer park.
Yeah,
and I mean, there's so much subtext to that scene. I feel like because first of all, nobody's played Nintendo, in like 20 years, and you realize it's a Nintendo game based on him. Where did that money go?
Right. Probably didn't get any.
Probably
in Vince McMahon's pocket.
Probably, you're sitting in a shitty trailer in a trailer park playing a video game based on you, and the kid is like, nah, I don't want to play because it's lame. But the kid is nice enough not to say that, and it's just, this guy has lost so much and fallen so far, and yet what other choice does he have to keep doing the thing that he knows how to do? And as a stand-up on the road, I felt that. I mean, like, by about the fifth time you're pulling into the Thunderbird Inn in Elko, Nevada, you're like, what the fuck, man? I did not get into stand-up comedy to feel like I was showing up at a day job I can't show up at, and yet that's what it turns into. And then you're like, woo, it's great to be here tonight. It's not. It's not great to be here at all. I fucking hate this.
Were you squeezing any pleasure out of it at that point, even if it was just the drinking?
I mean, I pimped the audience for drinks, and that, they're getting me drunk on stage and I'm saying ridiculous shit that, there's no, and I would look down in the audience and, it's like a frat party at a certain point, and the crowd is like, woo, yeah, this guy's great, he's drinking with us. But, you look down and you could see like 20% of the audience is looking back at me like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, this isn't even comedy. This is sort of sad, to watch, and
right.
Yeah. And I knew it too, but in the moment it's like, all right, I'm getting drunk, so I'm getting my feelings numbed. I'm going to get my $50 in cash, which is what you got as a opener out there. You got 50 in cash, and then 50.
Did you ever Road Warrior it as a headliner?
I did as a headliner too. And it's so,
you get 150 instead of 50.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and other stand-up comics from a certain era will also know who I'm talking about. David Tribble. He booked like the Greater Pacific Northwest of one-nighters, and they were called Tribble runs.
Tribble runs.
Tribble runs.
The shittiest of shitty.
Just the shittiest
gigs.
of the shittiest. You know, you're in bars. Sometimes you're in a hotel. Yeah. You know, you're in a restaurant. You know, and you know, I don't want to judge the crowds that would show up, but you know, you're in the middle of nowhere, and the material that's going to work for that audience. Also, like what I was trying to do got lower and lower and lower because it was like, well, I could try to do material that's introspective and talk about religion and how that confused me as a kid, or I could talk about my dick.
It just doesn't work. So you get a road. Not that you became a road.
I was going. I mean, you remember.
Yeah.
Like I can remember being on stage at the Punchline, and I remember you came up to me afterwards and said like, yeah, you can really tell that you've been on the road because it's, you know, it's like saying fuck after every punchline. It's just being overly demonstrative because you have to talk over noise.
Right.
It's having material that is simple, hacky, universal to the point of just like everyone does it, you know? And that was,
and it's a certain type of crowd control that is put on. Whoa, okay, over here, this guy is and it's like it works, but then you get into the city and it's superfluous. It's fluff.
It's fluff and other, you know, the same thing almost in reverse, right? Like 20% of the crowd in the city was like, "Oh, this is great." But then 80% are looking at you like, what are you doing, man? We're in San Francisco. What are you talking about?
There was a, you know what? I'm going to mention his name because this isn't a diss.
Okay.
Daniel Dugar. Remember him?
I do.
I think he's still doing it.
I don't think he is, to be honest.
Okay.
I mean, you know what? I don't know. It's been a long time.
So Dugar, nice guy, did some road work with him. Very, very sweet guy. He used to do this thing at the San Francisco Punchline. And this was back in the day when there was Oakland and then there was San Francisco, and the rooms were different.
They were segregated.
Quoting, W. Kamau Bell's joke. I live in the black part of San Francisco, Oakland. It was like that. And Dugar used to come to the San Francisco Punchline and do his sort of set about how he would do this kind of the set about how you guys are white and you're looking at me like this. And it was always a little bit like you could feel in the room. It was like, no, we're not. Say something.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of a misread, in my opinion. He would do a thing about.
I agree. Yeah.
It wasn't. And so he would do a thing about, you know, and it never killed. It didn't bomb, but it didn't kill, and it never seemed. It made him look like an uninteresting comedian at the Punchline, right? And maybe we got that impression of him that okay, this is not brilliant comedy. Then I go on the road with him, and we're in the middle of butt fuck
nowhere. Yeah,
wherever.
Yeah,
and he's headlining, riffing with a bunch of, now you're in front of the white people that need to be handled.
Yeah.
He's riffing about the war in Iraq and this and that and I was like, there's fucking tension in this room. I was really impressed. Like there's tension in this. And I talked to him.
Yeah.
And I said, what was up with that? And he's like, I ain't afraid of these motherfuckers. I'm going to just speak and I don't know if I said it. I said, but I either said it or I thought, do this in the city. Because this was actually interesting.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I've seen it. I've done it. I think it's fascinating to see. I mean, just recently I've started writing. Oh, by the way, I have a Substack, everyone. If you'd like to,
Substack, Joe Klosick.
it's called Malcontent Joe. um, but I've been writing a lot about my early experiences in stand up, and partially it's like, yes, I would love for someone to read them and go, oh my God, this is amazing. Let's make a book. But partially it's because I feel like a lot of those memories are starting to fade, and I want to get them down. I
Hmm.
want my timeline to be clear to me. And there was so much experience that I had out there encountering people. And, sometimes I was wrong. Sometimes I would walk into a shit bar that had, here's our whiskey special tonight outside,
Hmm.
foosball tables, pool tables, sports games, wrestling playing on every channel. I'm in Montana, and I'm like, well, these
Hmm.
fuckers, they're not gonna, and then I would riff something and it would get a huge laugh. And I was like, okay, I did not expect that. And then before I knew it, I'm talking about religion, and I'm talking about
Hmm.
politics, and I'm talking about stuff, and I'm getting big laughs, and afterwards people are talking to me, and I'm like, okay, lesson learned. You cannot always judge where
Hmm.
you are and the mentality that you're going to find. And then other times it totally would backfire on me. And people were, I'm going up, your next comic is from San Francisco, and people are literally yelling out queer, faggot,
Hmm.
AIDS. And it's like, of course, this is who you are. Of course, this is the
Hmm.
mentality I'm going to encounter, and it was always fascinating to me that even in those rough shows, there would be people that would come up to me and say, hey, I
Hmm.
appreciated what you were
Hmm.
saying. I
Yeah,
appreciated what you were trying.
because um, uh, negativity is always louder. You can always spoil a show. It's not hard to to yell and scream, and three people could screw up a show.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and so a guy like Bill Hicks, a part of it wasn't just the material; it was just the perseverance. He was always going to go for that 20 people. It was just.
Oh,
I mean,
y-
that's when I some comedians are just kind of built that way to after driving all day, you get to a thing, and now I have the energy to go to war.
I mean, Hicks, though, he represents a very clear border between what the industry was like once upon a time and then what it turned into, because Bill Hicks was famous for walking the room.
Right,
Bill
right. You
Hicks
were
was
allowed to,
famous, and you were allowed
yeah,
to do that, and he would get rebooked because people were like, he should be seen. He is an
right,
artist. This is
right,
amazing, right? So
right.
before ticket sales became the end all be all, there was room for a guy like Bill Hicks, even though club owners knew 50-50 chance I'm going to lose money because he's going to walk most of the room. Today, man, if you have a bad set and there's a lot of comments about it on social
Yeah,
media, you're not coming back.
you're done.
You're done. You
Wow.
are not getting booked back, and it's, there's, we've lost something. We've lost something, like putting stand up in front of people, because that's the other thing too. Like, club work in the 80s and into the 90s, a lot of times audience showed up not knowing who the headliner was,
Oh,
not
most of the
knowing
time, yeah.
most of
I
the
mean,
time, right? And you could be, people would be like blown away sometimes, like, oh my God, I had no idea that stand-up could be like this. Other times they would go like, this is not at all what stand-up is. But that era is gone now. People are showing up because they're following a comic, and they're going to see exactly what they expect to see. And again, I get it, and it makes a lot of sense, but I feel like we've kind of lost something.
mhm. Yeah. No, I hear you. I think it's at the same time back in the day when you could get rebooked, it was also, I think, about selling drinks, and if you left, you left, and
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's clubs out there though. Like, I mean, I worked plenty of them. It didn't matter who the headliner was. It did not change their business
Yeah, it doesn't
model
matter. You're
or
going to
marketing at
see.
all. You got
To me,
10 free passes.
yeah, to me, that's what is bad for comedy.
Yeah,
Where
I agree with that.
you're going to see comedy. Who is it? Who cares? But there's an expectation. I'm going to relax and have a laugh.
Yeah.
That Harvey's in Portland used to be like that.
Yeah.
It's a shit room in that way.
And you know what? There's room for all of those rooms. There's room for the person that is like, hey, I'm an artist and I'm going to push the audience. And there's room for, hey, I just want to make people laugh and not think. That's fine. You know what I mean? That is 100% okay. But to go back to the wrestler,
yes, let's go back to that. So what did you honestly think? Because before I say that, same thing happened with my dad. I was like, you got to see this movie. It's the greatest. He couldn't even get through it. So it's a different type of taste. It's like, why am I watching this miserable, depressing shit?
It is. I mean, it's a very, very in your face commentary on not being able to let go. Because the only thing you're good at is also the thing that killed you. And I feel like, as a stand-up that was on the road, that I was going to become the Ram. I was on my way to becoming the Ram. That gig where, there's like barbed wire and the staples, that is that was so hard to watch. That was so hard to watch. But then I'm also remembering, like, there were rooms I would walk into, and the emotional equivalent that I would compare that to is like, oh yeah, we love it when the comic and the audience just get into it with each other. We love it.
That was the worst for me. I remember I was headlining a 2-nighter in Corpus Christi for what's his name?
Rich Miller?
Rich Miller. I got a 2-nighter in Corpus Christi. No, anyway, and I pulled it off. And that's another thing. I look back and I give myself credit. I always pulled it off. But I remember they were like, so it was like a Friday room, and they were like, they're kind of mellow tonight. And of course, I had a great set. You're going to love Saturday because it fucking, I don't need that. I don't want fucking drinking. And I was sober.
Dude, I remember being, and I think this is when I would say I was probably at the top of my game. And I was sober at the time. And it was in New Mexico. Albuquerque, New Mexico. There was a room there, and the guy who owned the room also was a former like Road Warrior comic, and he bought the club. And it was, to him, it was all about selling drinks. Like, that's where he was making his money, and he was upfront about that, honest. Okay. And before I went on stage, they had a waitress with a bandolier of test tube shots called Mind Eraser. That's what it was called, that and liquid marijuana. And she walked around the room. He was on the back mic. Ladies and gentlemen, before your headliner, you might want to get a little bit more mellower and just, right now, $10 shots. She's going around. So before I went on stage, Alcohol did a guest set. And it was like 7 minutes of her walking around. She's got a cowboy hat. She's like the hottest waitress they have, wearing something skimpy with 2 bandoliers of shots, across her huge boobs. And I'm watching this and I'm just like, what the fuck? And I'm about to go up and talk about the Iraq War and Christianity and living in San Francisco and being challenged by people who don't share the same ideas and values. And you know what? I'm like, fuck it. I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to fucking do it. And you know what? I think because I was like at the top of my game, and I would just, I'm like, all right, I'm going to war. I had a great show, but I will always remember this. After the show, I didn't have any merch, but I'm standing, people are leaving and they're saying, hey, that was really great. Hey, I really enjoyed that, man. That was phenomenal. This young woman comes up to me. It's probably a little younger than me. And she goes, my husband is serving in Iraq right now. And I came out tonight to forget about it. And you made me think about it. And she was mad. She was mad. And I'm like, I'm trying to be this artist, right? And I'm like, hey, listen, at least people are thinking about it because they should be thinking about it. And she was just upset and pissed. And I remember having this realization, just shut up, Joe. Don't try to explain. She's upset. Let her be upset. But again, like I felt like I was trying to put something interesting and unique out there, and it worked because people were laughing, and somehow I got away with it, even though Alcohol did a guest set right before I'm delivering social commentary. But this one woman was like, fuck, I came out to laugh and forget, and it all sides of it.
And there's always going to be, you can't please everyone. There's always going to be that. And to me, there's room for both artistic expression and compassion for her.
There is. Yeah. But I value the places where you're just going on stage and you're doing your set, and it's not about the alcohol sales. It's not about the 2-drink minimum. It's not about like, who's ready to party? It's like, no. They showed up to see some stand up. And if you're on like a show with 4 or 5 other people and they're all doing like 10, 15-minute sets, you get this really interesting grab bag of different approaches. And I think the audience appreciates that. You know what I mean? Like, I think the audience appreciates like, hey, that was really interesting to see what that person was doing. And I really dug what this person is doing. And that changed my mind about what stand-up can be. And that was exactly what I usually like. That is still out there too.
Well, amen. So, by the way, before we wrap, I do have to say, no, I do not think of you as the Ram. I don't.
It's okay, Dan.
I think of the Ram as someone either of us could have become.
We could have. Yeah, that's true.
If you do not cultivate any awareness or kind of resiliency against
or manage your money.
Yeah. What I was going to ask is, what comedian is most like the Ram?
I mean, I can think of one guy, Ari Spears. I think
why him?
He is so miserable. I don't think he's happy.
But he's still like young and should be doing well, isn't he? I think. What was he?
I think he was on in
Mad TV.
Mad TV, and he has not really done anything since then. He has a very loyal following. His act is very stuck in like an 80s stereotype. It's all just race baiting. And off stage, he's not a happy guy. I mean, I've opened for him a couple of times, and I also saw him chew out the Cobb staff one night for something that was entirely his fault. And it's just like, man, that's not a happy guy, and I think he feels stuck. I think, he's at a level of fame that most stand-ups would kill for, because he's selling out rooms, he's going on the road, he's, but I don't think he's happy, and I think he's stuck, and I think he knows he's stuck, but he doesn't know how to get out of it.
Okay, so that's kind of a successful Ram. I mean, who's the Ram? Talking about a comedian that...
You mean like someone we know, like personally? Who?
No, like, okay, something that like comes to mind. I don't know this guy, but someone more like a John Fox. I mean, that's dating way back, but that type of...
Yeah, no, that's actually, he is John another Fox, great example.
I mean, I'm talking about guys that are now probably doing one-nighters. They got nothing.
John died. John.
Oh,
So just so
sorry about
everyone knows,
rest in peace.
we're not talking about John Fox, the Bay Area comedy booker. We're talking about John Fox, who did originate out of San Francisco, but was pretty well known for just being a road hack. Like his act had not changed literally in 20 years.
That.
Yeah.
I'm talking about that. Like when I think Ram, I think of dudes that were thriving when they were thriving, but there was no plan.
Well, I mean, John,
nothing. Like
he kind of did die sort of in a Ramish way. Like there was he had posted he got can't remember what type of cancer, but he was posting from the hospital and just saying like, hey, you should get tested. And, I ignored it. And I can imagine, he also did a lot of drugs. He was upfront about that. And I can imagine that he spent a lot of time on the road feeling something, knowing he should get checked and ignoring it. And then one night he probably couldn't ignore it. And then he went to the hospital and they told him like, yeah, you have stage 4 cancer. And it
is no disrespect to him. Being the Ram is not a insult, but it just it happens. Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, people that you just don't go to the doctor. You just because you don't want to know.
But you're a comic on the road. There's no health plan. There's no
right.
You're not paying into anything.
Why do I want to know if I have cancer?
Exactly.
I mean, it's like Tom Rhodes said. The only benefit we get as comics is free drinks. That's the health plan.
That's the health. Yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
Fuck, I gotta. My tooth is killing me.
You want some Jägermeister?
You want a shot?
Yeah.
That's the dental plan.
Yeah, I think I'm shitting blood. Okay, you want a shot? Hey, you know what?
Maybe a White Russian. You got an ulcer. How about a White Russian? The milk.
Right. Yeah, I'm short of breath sometimes when I go up the stairs now. Oh, you know what? A good whiskey will help that.
But it's a downer.
How many? I mean, but I can only take 2 of your drink tickets. You're gonna have to come back next week. And oh my God, it's so fucking sad. But
you're gonna have to come back next week for more cancer therapy.
God,
you only got 2 drink tickets.
Oh my God, Before we finish, though, I would love to give a shout out to Todd Barry, who played the manager.
Yeah, very funny.
I mean, that was brilliant casting. Brilliant casting.
Yeah, perfect. Smart ass.
Yeah.
And millions of housewives begging for your meat. Are you interested? Work the deli counter. So, do you get at all why I suggested this?
I do. No, I do. I mean, it was a unflinching look at not realizing that you have to change. I mean, that's how I took it. Like realizing like, dude, you were at the top of your game, and when things started to go down, you didn't do any of the things that you should have done to protect your future. You didn't take care of your family, and now you're at the end and you're alone.
It's too late.
It's too late.
It happens, but it happens to people. We cannot. There's a tipping point in life where no one gives a shit. They're done with you. It's sad and lonely.
It's so depressing.
I know, but what a great fucking...
I love that he filmed it entirely in the Midwest in winter, which has always, like, it's so fucking cold. It's so fucking bleak.
On top of everything.
Yeah.
He's cold. He's locked out of his trailer.
Oh, it's just like fucking A,
And
man.
the only thing you could say that was sort of hopeful was he was happy in the ring. He knew how to do that, and he kept his head up.
That's it. I mean, but I do wonder about that too, though. I mean, I do feel like it was really interesting to see that they all have this shorthand, this language that they they're all the camaraderie is amazing, and it's all like, hey, let's talk about what we're gonna do. It is choreographed to some degree. It is all fake, and they're all in on it, and they're like, well, I'm the bad guy, you're the hero. My job is to do this. Your job is, and they're all talking about when they're gonna do it and how they're gonna do it. Even when it's happening, they're talking to each other about like, okay, we've given them enough. Let's do this, and it just made me realize, like, I think, and maybe I'm just reading into this because I spent years on the road as a comic at shitty gigs. I don't think he was even happy in the ring. I think he was continuing to do the one thing he knew how to do, and he was still very good at it, right? Yeah. But I don't think he had love for it anymore.
That's a good point. But when you look at comedy, there's that element of it's not all about performing. It's about the friends and the world. That's a world you can exist in, get a little bit of respect.
Yeah.
And but again, no, you're not the Ram. You're the Ayatollah. That guy, he had, you're the Ayatollah. The guy he had some.
Fuck.
He had
a used car sales.
He was doing fine. He was doing fine.
Doing fine.
Yeah, he's doing fine. He was coming back. He was having fun. You have fun at your gigs.
I am not the Ayatollah. We cannot end on that, Dan.
Anyway.
Hey, Dan, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
You feel like a success?
Yes.
Yes. I
do. No, the truth is I do. And I'll tell you why. It all hit me like a ton of bricks, why both of us are successes. Because life is about awareness, honesty with oneself. If you can be honest about where you're at and why you're doing what you're doing, you're a success. We're both successes. We didn't end up exactly where we planned to be.
Yeah.
But something tells me we're right where we need to be. I actually mean that. I mean that.
That's not to be overly dramatic, but that is beautiful to hear. And tonight I'm headlining Rooster Teeth Feathers.
Ooh, all right.
And there is a little bit, of like, okay, it's a Sunday night, we're not going to have big sales, but yeah, it's my night. I'm the headliner. I get to be introduced, as, hey, this is what it's all about. This is what it's been building to,
You guys are in for a treat.
You guys are in for a treat.
This guy is a local legend. He's been a mentor to me, and I am gonna.
And it's corny and it's trite, but it's all true. I get to go up there and it's my show. For 45 minutes, I can do whatever I want, take them wherever I want, say what I want, and it is what it is. But you know what? It was not easy to get to.
Mm-hmm. It is very another thing we don't. Trust me. Now that I'm out of it, I say this not lightly. When we're doing comedy, we don't give ourselves credit for just the doing.
Yeah.
It is balls out hard to headline a show, to stand there with that confident look in your head going, what, okay, where am I going? Where am I going? I mean, that is.
Do you know what I think about now sometimes when I'm on stage and
what?
This is, this kills me to admit, because especially tonight, it's a Sunday night, right? And, there's going to be a moment I'm on stage and everything is clicking and it's feeling really good. And as soon as I realize I'm feeling really good and I'm getting big laughs, I'm going to realize, well, tomorrow I have to get up at 5:30 to get to work. And I think about the drive back from the club. I'm going to think about all of that. I'm just going to be like, fuck, I really wish I didn't have to do that.
I'm with you. I'm totally with you. It's hard. Tell you what, Joe, I'm not going to say. I don't. It's a whole other episode. What I'm about to say. I'm going to hold
Okay.
back.
Well, do you know? Say it as a teaser, and we'll check in again sometime next month.
Okay. What I was going to say is the ironic thing is your comedy career is great. Okay. I'll tell you where the injustice is your day job, because I'm in mental health, and mental health, you could be really, really good at your job, but if you don't have the degrees next to it, you cannot get paid enough. That's
Buddy,
what actually pisses me off. I know what you're going through.
I would love to have that conversation with you, because it is a struggle right now. Yeah, it is a struggle. But this is where I am the Ram, because I'm not going to school. I'm not taking the classes, because I'm like, where do I fit it? But anyway, we're out of time, buddy.
We'll get into that. Okay, we're out of time.
We're out of time. Like and subscribe.
I hope this has been like and subscribe. It's been an interesting conversation.
I enjoyed it.
Let us know what you think of The Wrestler. Did you love it like me? To me, that's just background. That's white noise. I could watch that movie, love it, and but thank you for going there. How did Christine like it?
It was the second time she saw it, but it was sort of fascinating. She couldn't quite remember where she had seen it before, and then she realized, oh, I saw it on TV, because there's so much that's edited out for TV. Yeah. And she found it hard to watch, and I kept saying, I think Dan thinks I'm the Ram.
I do not think you're the Ram.
And Christine is like, he doesn't think that. He's just thinking like, I think he thinks that. I think he thinks that.
The Ram. The point is, we could all be the Ram. You're not the Ram. You're getting married.
Getting married. Exactly. I escaped.
You're marrying up.
I'm definitely marrying up.
So you ain't the fucking Ram.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be a good guy. You are a good guy. You're gonna be a good husband. That's not the Ram.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time, everyone.
All right. Peace out.